Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
All right, guys, we are back. No Terrence this week, but we do have plenty to talk about. So let's get right into it. Micah, you checked out Black Twitter, A People's History, this documentary on Hulu. Is that correct?
Yes. It's just a recount of what Black Twitter. And it is, it's not much of a documentary. Like, it's more so it's just kind of like we're reminiscing, going down memory lane. It's set up like you remember those like VH1 and MTV documentaries?
Yeah, it would have like a bunch of celebrities or pseudo internet personalities talking.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. That's the vibe that I get from it. It's light fare, right? I had it on while I was working, and I think that's the best thing for it because it's, if you're not, I guess it's informative if you're not black, and if you are black, it's just like a trip down memory lane of all these, like, the first is broken up into three parts. First part is how black people took this app, right, this communications tool, and kind of made it our own, right? Started cutting up and making jokes and memes and stuff like that, and how that stuff got popular and into the overall vernacular or lexicon or whatever. And how people just started to adopt it, right? Like, here's something that was created by others and we made it our own, to the point where, we call it Black Twitter, and people thought that Black Twitter was something different from regular Twitter, right?
I remember that. Yeah, absolutely.
And that was the first part. Like, it's all fun. It's all, and then the second part is about how we have used Twitter in activism, how we have used Twitter to tell the stories get the stories out that would never come out, right? Of all these black people, like, just fucking being murdered by the state and for no reason. And how we used hashtags to galvanize each other as a people. And then the third part is, leading up to kind of where we are now, and how the election of Donald Trump affected things, how white people realize, all these black people are doing this, we can do it too, right? Like, and how Twitter has become, a cesspool, particularly when it was purchased by Elon Musk.
Right.
And it's interesting, especially for someone who is not, like, actively on Twitter. Like, I have a Twitter account, but I don't use it.
Right.
It's interesting. It's directed by Prentice Penny. You may know him as the showrunner for Insecure. And yeah, it's okay. It's something light, have it on in the background while you're working.
Okay. It looked interesting to me.
But it's more interesting than that Freaknik documentary, but it's the same type of beats.
I feel like that style of documentary, the sort of the pseudo familiar people, right? Like, doing kind of, like you said, like the MTV thing, like they would have the same kind of like 20 people kind of doing different ones, right? Or like countdown type of shit.
Yeah.
I think they should bring those back. Those were kind of fun, right? Especially when it's a lighter topic. It's actually kind of fun to, like, see, you get like a couple of like medium level comedians thrown into the mix and stuff like that. That's always kind of fun. No, but like, Twitter before Elon Musk and Twitter after Elon Musk are two wildly different apps, right? When he bought it, I was like, and I'm done. Like, and it was just because, not immediately after he bought it, but the changes he made, I was like, oh, and now it's a cesspool of fucking Nazis and crazy people. I was like, I'm good.
It's just people. It's just people yelling "nigger" into the ether, and which is, if you don't know why that's bad, like, yeah, most people wouldn't say that to your face, but if you get used to saying it in the ether, you'll test the waters. That's them testing the fences. The Raptors are testing the fences when they do that, and
just to see how far
that's why. Right. That's why hate speech needs to be stamped out. That's why it's illegal to say certain things in crowded areas. You're not supposed to say bomb on an airplane, right? Because you don't want to incite a panic. And that's why hate speech is banned, because one, I mean, it's fucking gauche and have a little more
it's
class,
not banned
right?
in the US, but it is banned other places like in Europe or Britain specifically.
Right, because they don't because you don't want that you could incite a riot that way. And look, I get it; it's just a word or whatever. Like, I can call you a bunch of names under the sun, right? But just stay away from hate speech, or if you say hate speech when you're alone at home, like we know you all do. Right.
Look, here's the thing. You say whatever you want. I am an advocate for you get to say whatever you want. And I'm also an advocate for people having the right to respond in a way that they may feel is necessary at that moment if they hear you say it.
Yeah.
Like, that's my thing. Look, you wanna use the N-word as a white person? You go right ahead. You go right ahead. Like, it's like that clip of Delroy Lindo in that TV show.
Yeah,
like,
from the Good Wife.
Yeah, like,
I'll
say it with you. Like, come on, go ahead. Yeah, because if you want to say it, go ahead and say it. But don't say it on some like sneak shit. Say it with your chest. Say it in public. Look, there was a white dude just recently, and then we'll move off of this, that had like I think it was a YouTube account. And he had like 500 million views a month. Like, this is a big account. And he decided that he was going to post a video. I don't know where he was, but he was going to title the video. I'm not making this up. Hitler is my nigga. And again, not a black dude. He didn't use a hard R, but obviously it was not cool anyway. And YouTube was like, oh, word? You're banned. Done. Account dead. And he's like, well, why is it? That's not fair. What, you're treating your creator like that. Yo, you knew what you did. You did it. Again,
you knew what you're doing.
You tested the fence, and now an account that probably made you a shit ton of money is done. I don't see the problem here. Seems like a perfect fuck around and find out situation to me. Good.
Exactly. And if you're gonna cite free speech, you need to fucking read the thing. You need to read the fucking amendment. Okay, like,
no,
free speech doesn't mean free speech doesn't mean, like, free speech just means the government's not going to come after you for saying certain shit. That's it.
That's all it means.
That's it. A private company.
Yes, fuck all to do with corporation.
Right, a private company. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I just love that. Wouldn't this be funny? They were like, yeah, it's hilarious. You're done. Like, oh. Oh, I can only imagine 500 million views a month. I can only imagine the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars this guy's making a month. It is done. It's over. You're done. Good. Fuck around and find out. Like, again, if you think you're invincible, especially in the eyes of corporate America, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. So, yeah. So, yeah, look, Twitter is an important moment in human history. It's weird to say that, but at least in American history, actually even human history, because like the Arab Spring was pushed very worldwide because of Twitter, like back in the day, right? So it does have its major moments. That being said, now it's run by a complete fucking piece of shit, and everyone should get off of that app and help him lose billions upon billions of dollars. That's just my opinion.
I mean, look, I'm of two minds of Twitter, right? Like, I understand the significance of being able to have this global platform to be able to make positive change, but I'm also a believer in the fact that, like, not everybody needs a megaphone, especially if you didn't. Not everybody needs a soapbox, especially if you didn't put the soapbox together.
That is correct.
You can say, you could say anything you want about us and our opinions on movies and shit like that. But until you start doing this, like,
I don't care.
It's falling on deaf ears. Again, you could scream into the fucking ether, I'll never see it. Right? Like, nut up, do your research, and come on here and we'll talk about it.
I mean, it's really funny. I did see somebody who did not like our opinion on some movie on black cinema, and I didn't respond to it. I don't really give a fuck. And it was just, I'm just like, you have no idea what it takes. And not like what we do is difficult. I'm not.
It's not hard. And that's the thing. It's not hard. It just takes a little bit of effort.
It takes a little bit of effort. Right? But the thing is, what people don't realize when you talk about movies, to have like people, it's funny. People take really serious like jokes that we make. And like, I'm like, oh, you're bad at telling the difference between a joke and like an actual opinion. But okay. But I mean, I'm not surprised. A lot of people are stupid on YouTube. But the difference in like trying to explain and talk about films and try to understand like what they are about. And I'm not saying we're like the world's best reviewers. I've definitely listened to people who are way fucking smarter than me. If that's even possible, obviously. But it's not difficult, but people think it's way easier than it actually is. And I think people forget. Like they're like, oh, you guys are idiots about this. I'm like, cool. Why don't you start a YouTube channel and then tell people your opinions on movies and then make it public and see how it goes for you? Yeah. You're about to have some hurt feelings, motherfucker. Like, if you knew the type of shit I've read, I'm like, wow. I used to get really mad about it. Now I just laugh about it because I know that the level of misspellings are high. So I enjoy that. So, yeah. No, but look, people's opinions are their opinions, and that's okay. For the most part, if you're rude about it, I don't give a fuck. I just don't give a fuck. Now, if you're going to talk to me about my opinion on politics, we can debate. And I'm going to embarrass your ass. Yeah. That's different. I take that shit super personal. Again, what was the statement? Because I asked you, I was like, I need a statement for 2024, and you were like, not taking it anymore in 2024.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it.
You talk shit on my political opinion, bring your ass on, let's chat about it. And I'm not going to be nice. I'm done being nice. Way too old for that shit.
Right.
Way too
old. It's easy. It's easy to it's easy to bomb throw. Mm-hmm. And look, we all do it. Right?
100%.
But some of us make the bomb.
Yeah, exactly. Step your ass up. And that one dude on Black Cinema's comment section, he was running for the fucking hills. No, you just want to put it on your platform. I was like, we can do it on your fucking YouTube channel. You got like 5 followers. I don't give a fuck. Just so you know, I'm gonna record that shit, and I'm also gonna put it on ours and then embarrass your ass. I can't do it. All right, then shut the fuck up. All right, so let's move on from there. You watch Movie Pass, Movie Crash. I have heard some things about this. I have not watched this documentary, unfortunately. I didn't have a chance to do it today. So what are your thoughts on this? Well, actually, tell people what it's about and your thoughts.
Movie Pass, Movie Crash is a documentary about the rise and fall of Movie Pass. We all remember Movie Pass. It was the too good to be true movie subscription service for $10 a month. You can watch unlimited movies for $10 a month at participating theaters, right? And it was the most incredible deal that you could ever think of. Well, it crashed and burned. And this is all about it. Now, originally MoviePass was created by these two guys. And they had this idea of a subscription-based movie service like Netflix, but for the theater, right? Because they really enjoyed the theater experience. When the theater experience is on point, it is the best fucking thing when it comes to movies, right?
Oh, they were black. Oh,
I was about to say. I was about to tell you. I was about to tell you. Why do you think they couldn't get funding, Jay? They couldn't get funding. That for some reason they couldn't get funding, and it's probably because the two guys who created this were black. And
yo, that's fucked up. Yeah, I'm already mad.
They had one venture capitalist in with them, but they needed more, right? And it's basically how these two guys had this really great idea, and they couldn't get funding, so even with the venture capitalist that they had, they still needed more money. So this guy was like, well, let me bring in these two other guys, right? And the two other guys, they came in, they were like, all right, we're business people. We have a bunch of businesses and shit. Right. And they were like, okay, we have a board of directors, 3 white guys, we're on the board, 2 black guys, you're on the board. But we're above you, right? I'm the CEO, you're the COO, right? Like you don't get a say, right? And these guys, they took this idea, they bastardized it, and they lost like $250 million because in order for a subscription service to work, you need a severe influx, right? Of people initially, right? Yeah. And they couldn't get that. So they said, okay, well, I forget what they were charging. They were going to charge like $30 a month.
Still a massive deal.
Amazing deal. It's an amazing deal. And they were like, well, we got to hit a certain number. Why don't we just keep going lower? And then they finally settled on...
Wait, whoa. Wait, who said go lower?
The white guys.
No.
The white guys were like, let's keep lowering the price. Let's keep lowering the price because we got to get people in because we can't afford to market this right now because we don't have that influx of capital from subscribers. So like, come on, man, we let's go lower. And the black guys were like, okay, for a little bit, right? And these guys were playing limbo with the price. They finally settled on $10 a month. And then you remember what happened. MoviePass, $10 a month. You get a debit card. You get, whenever you want to go to a movie theater, they will put the money on the card. You can buy your ticket. And it was insane, right? It was all the rage.
That's too low, yo. That's too
low. It's less than the price of one ticket.
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense.
No, it really doesn't. So they met their number, right? They met their magic number, and they blew past it. But
of course, what the fuck?
But you needed that number at $30 a month, not at $10.
Yeah, you're not generating enough revenue.
Right. But these white guys were talking to these other white guys, and they were like, "Well, if you just get the number of subscribers up, then I'll put in some more cash for you." And it just is so annoying, right? It's so annoying because MoviePass was such a really great idea, and MoviePass is not dead, by the way. MoviePass is still around. Spoiler alert. The original guy got the MoviePass back, right? Like he is, and you can go to MoviePass.com right now, and it still seems like a really good deal.
Basic, okay. Here are the prices. There's basic, standard, and premium. $10 a month for basic, you get 3 movies a month. Standard, you get 4 movies a month. Premium, for $30, you get 5 movies a month. I don't know, man. $30 for 5 movies a month? That ain't bad. That's more than 1 movie a week.
Yeah.
Like if I look, I'm gonna tell you right now, if I was single, and as much as I watch
if I was
movies
single, I would have MoviePass.
Fuck yes. Are you kidding me? Hey, what are you doing on a Wednesday? Who the fuck cares? I'm going to the movies. Nah, that's crazy.
Then they would talk about like how people would like go see movies like whenever, whatever. Like they would go see movies like you would flip a movie on TV and then just turn it off and then just, oh, well, it's fine. I'll just go to another one because I can, right? Because it's
right,
$10 a month.
Right, but $10 a month, that's too low for that. That's too low for that.
That's way too low for that. It's a super interesting documentary, especially for someone like you who is like into the business side of film also.
Yes,
it's super, and because like we're a couple of black guys that like movies, and a couple of black guys who like movies got screwed out of a great idea.
Dude, they could have been billionaires, dude. That's like we talk about that all the time. Of like we got a bunch of really good ideas. Like one of them's got to be $1 million idea. Yo, that's $1 billion idea. That's $1 billion fucking idea, and. That's so irritating. Why would you drop the price? That's too low. Hey, we got the numbers up.
And look, the Stacy Spikes is the main guy, right? And he's like, "Hey guys, I thought this $10 a month was going to be an introductory price, right? Like, we can't do this anymore."
Right now, if you said that, like your first month is 10. And then it goes up to 20, or you probably should have done like your first month is 20, and then it goes up to 10 after that. Like you do your Comcast price and bullshit, right?
Right.
Or even you could say 2 months, right? You really like the service, right? 2 months is just enough time to get somebody like really fucking hooked on it. And then you say first 2 months or $20. After that, it's $30 a month. I don't know, man. That's a pretty good goddamn deal. That's a pretty good deal.
It still is, man. It still is.
10's too low, yo. 10 is insane.
Like it was too good to be true, yo. Like I was waiting for the shoe to drop on the consumer end, right? Because $10 a month for unlimited movies, and like they made changes and stuff like that. But $10 a month for unlimited movies, that's something that is unfathomable. Right, that doesn't make sense, and I thought the shoe was going to drop on the consumer end. No, the shoe dropped on their end, and it's wild. It's a really interesting documentary. Look,
that makes me really mad.
You should watch it. I know. I kind of told you, the quote unquote happy ending, but there's some stuff in there that's really gonna piss you off. But it's really good, man. It's really good. Like I might have
some baby reindeer level insanity, yo. $10 a month. $10. Because I remember we used to talk about this when it was at 10, and we were all looking like, I mean, I feel like I should, like, even if you use it once a month, you still scored a deal. You scored a deal. Because the movie ticket is like $17. God damn, they got this shit in Mexico? Like, dude, movies down here are already cheap as fuck. That's insane, dude. Just wow. So
it's a really, really interesting documentary if you are into movies and you want to know and into this. It's just a wild story, man. It's a wild story of how. I mean, look, when I posted that I watched this in our private group, you heard what Terrence said, right? He said it's a story as old as time, right? Yep. And that's exactly what the fuck happened, man. But
Cam messaged me. He was like, "Hey, have you watched Movie Pass, Movie Crash?" I said, "No." Micah and Terrence watched it. They really liked it. He goes, "They screwing black people over again." Like I hadn't talked to him about it at all. It was like, yo, that is the worst. That's $1 billion idea, man. And you know what's fucked up? We know it's $1 billion idea because like AMC stubs exist.
Right.
Like we know that it works. And look, by the way, this is the first of its kind in the US. But in Europe and stuff like that, this has existed for decades.
It's wild, man.
If I see a white company come out with this bullshit and it's like, fucking something that sounds exactly like Movie Pass, like Movie Dash, I'm gonna be mad, yo. I'm gonna be super mad. And it's $20 a month. I'm gonna be fucking mad. I'm gonna be super mad. Like that's fucked up. We should totally steal their idea. No, in all seriousness, that's just really sad. That poor guys. They ain't deserve that.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, those guys are really successful. They're not like, Silicon Valley people. Like Stacy Spikes, he worked for Miramax at one point. Like he knows movies, right? Like he knows movies in the business. And the other guy, I forget his name, but they showed him on the cover of like Black Enterprise. Like these people aren't. They're not hurting. Right. They're not like sad sacks who got, they weren't poor and destitute and came up with this idea. But at the same time, like, come on, man.
No, they should have got super paid. They should have got.
Also, I also want to read Stacy Spikes' book, man. Like it's
what's the name of his book?
That guy's. Let me see if I can find it. That guy's hobnobbing with the rich and famous. He started Urban World, which is a black film festival in New York, and he seems like a good dude, man. The name of his book is where is it?
How the White Man Screwed Me and My Friend, and I'm Still Mad. A novel. I would be so pissed.
Black Founder: The Hidden Power of Being an Outsider, and it chronicles his career. Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, you should see it. You should watch this, man. You should really watch it. It's super interesting.
And this is on HBO Max, right?
Yes, it's on HBO Max.
Or Max, excuse me.
Oh, Max, yes.
Damn, that is fucked up. That's really fucked up, yo. Like, that's really messed up. Like, come on, man. Why don't we make it $10? $10? No.
It's like, all right, I get it, right? I get it. And then they push that man out, yo. Like, what the fuck?
That's how you know what we're doing. Yeah, that's how you know it was a good idea. They were like, we gotta get this nigga out of here. Like, yeah, nah, fuck that. You gotta go in there like Ice Cube with a baseball bat and a hoodie, just start wrecking shit. Like, that's just how you gotta handle it. That's bullshit. Corporate America sucks. All right, I watched the first episode. My wife and I are getting into the rest of this series, but I did want to quickly talk about my impressions of Apple TV's Dark Matter. Yeah, man. Dude, Apple TV is the polar opposite of Netflix when it comes to sci-fi. They nail it. This is a very, very well done story so far. It's interesting. My wife had the worst take on the first episode in a moment, and I'll tell you, I was like, "That's what you're concerned about? That's weird." It's multiple dimensions. So the premise here is that this guy is Joel Edgerton plays a professor at like kind of like a local college, right? And he's got, he's like a physics professor, I guess. And they show him teaching or whatever, and he's like, the very first thing he's talking about is like Schrodinger's cat, right? So I'm like, oh, I know something. I remember this from school. And so he's teaching at this little rinky-dink college and everything, and his students don't really give a fuck, obviously. But he's got all of these high-end like physicist friends who have gone on to start these companies, or start this one company very specifically. And his buddy calls him. Like, clearly, they went to college together. His buddy calls him. He's like, "Hey, man, I won this particular award, right? That he thought it was clear, like he thought he should have won that." Because like he's actually Joel Edgerton is like super bright and super talented, right? And he goes home to his wife, and his wife is like, "Your buddy won this like major award, like the Nobel Prize of Physics, basically type of thing. Go see him, go celebrate with him. He called you." And so he goes, and reluctantly he goes, and his buddy is like, "Look, man, this should have been you, actually. Like, you were the smartest of all of us, type of shit, right?" Yeah. No, but like he's actually being genuine about it. And what you come to find out is the reason, and the guy offers him a job, right? He's like, "Look, I just got a $300 million grant because I won this award. I'm starting this company, or starting like to expand this company. I want you to come work for me." right? You're going to be like top shit. Come out. They live in Chicago. He's like, look, this is going to be in like San Francisco. Come work for me. And he's like, all right, I got to think about it. I'm going to go home, talk to my wife, and think about it, right? When he goes home, he gets carjacked by someone in a mask, and like this guy takes him to like a factory or whatever, makes him undress and all this other shit, and then he injects him with something and he fucking passes out. When he wakes up, he is in a completely different part of the he's in the multiverse, right? He's in a different version of his world. And that's where things start to get crazy. I won't give away, like, if you watch a trailer, it gives away who took him, right? That's actually, I can actually give that part away because that's not the relevance of the story, right? Like, it's the kickoff, but it's not the heavy relevance of the story. But it's himself, right, from another universe. And where the crux isn't so much that as it's where did these guys' lives diverge, right? They had the exact same path because like there's stuff that the other one says to other characters in this universe that the original guy is from. So they have the same exact history, and then you watch where their lives diverge and why their lives are so very different. That's the crux of the story. My wife goes, he got captured and his wife is at home wondering where he is. He comes home at like 2 a.m. and my wife is like, she's washing dishes. Why is she still wearing a blazer? It's 2 a.m. I was like, that's what you're concerned about? It's like that she's wearing a blazer? She was like, it just seems silly. I was like, okay, all right, fine. There's multiple universes. That's more important. But it's where their lives diverge. That's the crux of the story. And it starts to become clear, but it's like, what are the series of events? Like, what's the butterfly effect? And like, we don't know what's happening in this other guy's world yet. Like, because he clearly has gone on to work with that guy. And so like, what happened? Right. So it's kind of interesting. But that's where it actually gets interesting. So, but yeah, Dark Matter is good. It's really good. And Joel Edgerton is doing double work. He's playing himself twice. So that's kind of interesting. I'm wondering if there are going to be other sides of the multiverse that come into effect. Like, will there be more of him, as they're kind of jumping around? But yeah, it's good. So far, so good. When we talked about the original trailer, like, yeah, this is something like you could watch with your wife. 100%. Like, I feel like she'd be super into this.
Yeah, we just gotta fucking find time. I made the mistake of telling her about it, because I could have watched it already. But
yeah, well, look, that's why I've only watched episode 1. Otherwise, I would have come on here and been like, all of the episodes I've watched so far are great. Like, I would have just burned through this shit. But yeah, we're gonna try to pick up and get back into it tonight. Actually, all right. Topics. Michael, take it away.
Nicholas Galin. Some guy named Nicholas is going to play He-Man in a Masters of the Universe film.
Gallon song? I think it's Gallon song.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't
care.
I'm sorry to say it, but I don't care. Look, I know looks aren't everything, but this guy looks like a Prince Adam. Okay, he looks like a Prince Adam.
Yeah, no, I believe it.
How you gonna do He-Man? Right?
You gotta Captain America this shit. You gotta film all the Prince Adam stuff. Like, you gotta CGI this guy. You gotta film all the Prince Adam stuff right now, and then you gotta like, all right, now bulk up and we do all the He-Man shit. Like, that's the only way.
Yeah, man. And even then, like, when I picture He-Man, right? Body dysmorphia happens on unrealistic body standards. Happen for men too, right?
100%.
Because like men don't walk around looking like He-Man unless your name is someone that I said we're not going to talk about anymore. But very few people on this planet look like that, right?
Right, of course.
And that's what I think He-Man is supposed to look like. Like, He-Man does not cut a slim figure. You know what I mean? He-Man He-Man looks like Joey Swole. You know what I mean?
but not 5'5". That dude's really short. By the way.
That dude is he is super short. But like, that's He-Man to me. Yeah. So I'm just curious. Even the picture they have next to him of an animated He-Man just looks kind of. I don't know. Look, man, I never got into Masters of the Universe. I really did try with that new cartoon from Kevin Smith.
I like the cartoon. The cartoon was fun, or that particular one was fun.
It was fine. It wasn't fine enough for me to want to finish it. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
But Bumblebee director Travis Knight is directing the movie for Amazon MGM.
That's good. That's a good look.
Yeah, from what I understand, Bumblebee is very good. Masters in the Universe has endured a particularly torturous 2-decade-plus journey to the big screen. The project was set up at Warner Brothers and Sony before moving to Netflix, which axed the film in 2023 over budget concerns. Countless directors, including Kung Fu Panda director Jason Stevenson, Wicked Helmer, John M. Chu, Charlie's Angels filmmaker Mick G. Can you imagine?
When the fuck has Mick G done anything? Jesus Christ.
And the Lost City duo, Aaron and Adam Nee, have cycled through the movie since 2007. The West Side Story actor Kyle Allen was at one point attached to play He-Man. Look, we'll see. We'll see. I'm tired of saying who asked for this, right? Because somebody did. Seriously though, somebody did. Right, somebody did, and we don't know what we want until we get it, right? So I'm going to try my best to stop saying who asked for this, and instead I will say,
we shall see.
We shall see. Speaking of which, I see a name in this article, and I am reminded that you did watch something. Jennifer Lopez.
Oh my God!
Called Atlas.
Okay, all right. Wow.
It must have had an incredible impact on you because you forgot
about that movie. Dude, that movie. Look, remember last week I made reference to how all of those sort of star fucker movies, these vanity projects that Netflix does is like Chinese food. This is the most Chinese food of all Chinese food. You forget about it 30 minutes after you've eaten it, right? This movie, Atlas, is super mediocre. Like it's not actually horrible. Like that's the weird thing, but it's bad, right? Like it's bad in the like you're grazing your balls over the line of mediocrity, right? Like that's what you're doing. She called a black robot a house bot and then killed him. I thought that was certainly an odd choice. I was like, okay. Like, who wrote this and thought this was acceptable? The CGI in some parts was actually pretty good, I will admit. This is done by a guy who did, like, Rampage and, like, I think it may have been, like, San Andreas or one of the other movies The Rock did, one of his other sort of passion projects. And it's not good. Like, it's not good. We need, like I feel like I'm happy people are protesting about Gaza. People also need to be protesting outside of Netflix to stop making vanity projects with celebrities. It's annoying. These are like the premise is interesting, right? Like the premise is
feel free to spoil this movie, by the way,
and I will. The premise here is in the future robots are super prevalent, right? And there are robots that look human, like they're just straight up human. And but they, you know, like they're not hidden or anything, right? But they look straight up human. And eventually, one robot played by Simu Liu, he figures out a way to basically go against his own programming. He's like, oh, humans are the fucking worst. Fuck that. And so then he like pushes out his evil robot message to all robots, and they just start attacking humans and trying to kill them. Right? He becomes the first robot terrorist. All right. Like robot terrorist already. It's one of the dumbest fucking turns of phrase I've ever heard.
Sounds fucking stupid.
It's very stupid. And so they kick the shit out of the humans for a while. Then humans fight back, which is completely unrealistic because nuclear weapons exist. Because the first thing you do if you're a robot and you want to kill humans, just nuke them. Like, just nuke the shit out of them. You're a robot. You don't need food. Like, that's dumb, right? It doesn't make sense. So eventually, the robot terrorist is like, I gotta get out of here. And so he goes off world, and he hops in a rocket, him and a bunch of his robot friends, and they leave planet Earth, and he's like, I'll be back. But he says it like cooler than that. And so many, many years later, Atlas, that's her first name, which is stupid.
So fucking stupid. Why would it be her first name?
I'm pretty sure it's her first name. Yeah, like... Because again, this is fucking Chinese food, American Chinese food to me, but she's like, okay, she's like a top researcher type of fucking person, and she just happens to be the little girl who Simu Liu was like her house bot. Right, he's the one, so he has this connection with her, right? Because her mom invented him or whatever, fucking horseshit.
Her name is Atlas Shepard.
Yeah, Atlas Shrugged.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then she comes into the military and she's like, I'm the only one who can find him and catch him. And they're like, you don't even know anything, you're dumb. And she's like, I found out the planet they were on by killing that black housebot that I called a housebot right before I killed him. And so they're like, all right, you're on the team. And like the head of the team is Sterling K. Brown. And they go and they try to go to this planet in the Andromeda system or whatever, and they're attacked because the robot set up a trap. Oh, but she warned them, and like, oh my god, and it's really dumb. And eventually, like, they save the day, whatever. The movie again didn't need to exist. We don't need this. I only watched it because there's part of me that just hates myself. I guess,
yeah,
and
no shit.
just a level of self-loathing I cannot get past. So yeah, look, it's not good. I think we've had enough Jennifer Lopez. Like every couple of years, we get a lot of Jennifer Lopez. We've hit maximum limit. Go sit down for a couple of years. It's fine. Look, just go and marry whoever and be really hot, you know, like forever. That's fine. But there's been like. This is like the third movie or second movie. We're seeing a lot of you and Ben. We're seeing your face a lot. We're done. It's cool. Like, it's cool. Just take a break. Like, I feel like every 10 years, she's like a locust. Like, she comes up, and we got to deal with her for a while, and then she goes back. It's time to go back. Put her back in the box. It's fine. We love you,
God.
but it's enough. It's enough. Okay.
I respect the fact. I respect the hustle. Oh, okay?
I do.
And I'm being genuine when I say that. I hate your art. I hate all of it. I'm not into dance, but you're very good at it. I'm not into music, but I know you're very bad at that. And acting, I mean, is hit and miss.
Where's the hit? Where's the hit? Did you get a hit?
Technically, a foul ball is a hit. So there you go. That's my answer. A foul ball is a hit.
Made in Manhattan. People seem to like that. Money Train. She was in Money Train.
Money Train.
Yeah, the one with Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson.
Oh, any relation to Money Plane with Kelsey Grammer and Edge? Adam Copeland?
Unfortunately not. Her best, you know what? Her best role, Out of Sight, with George Clooney. Steven Soderbergh movie. That's her best role.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it.
What she's got to have some other movies, man. She's got to have some other movies that. Oh, Anaconda, duh.
Oh, when was it John Boyd was like, "Yo, bro, don't look at her like that." It's like, like he looks so gross. Like, yeah, I actually felt sorry for her in that moment. Yeah, Selena, right? People that's actually it. That's it. That's what gave her so much goodwill. I saw it was like a Latin woman talking. She's like, people love Selena so much that they gave Jennifer Lopez a pass for way too long as a talent. Like that's how much they love Selena. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Because I'm not seeing anything else. God, I remember this. You remember The Cell?
Yeah, I do. It's a wild movie, man.
That is.
Yeah, that's a Tarzan movie. It was visually beautiful.
Yeah.
It was a piece of shit movie, but it was visually incredible. Yeah. U-Turn. You ever seen that
Hustlers?
movie?
She was good in Hustlers. I did see Hustlers. She was pretty good in that.
She was a stripper in that?
Yes.
Yeah, her.
She was a hustler. Yeah. And she was pretty good in that.
Yeah, I'm never gonna see that.
Right. You don't need to see it.
Don't worry, I won't. All right, so there you go. Atlas, not good, shocking. Terrence loved it, by the way. He'll come on and defend it next week. All right, next up, you have a Giancarlo story.
Giancarlo Esposito is confirmed. He will be joining the MCU. He will be in Captain America: Brave New World, and he will be playing a villain.
Yes. Speculation time.
Yeah, look, I don't believe he will be playing. I'm trying to find like a list of Captain America villains that he could possibly play. Captain America fights a lot of white people, and then I have to realize, oh, well, maybe I should Google Sam Wilson villains. But Sam Wilson, he just kind of fights Cap villains. So look, Giancarlo Esposito is he's a slick dude known for playing very corrupt individuals. I think I'm looking at a list. I can't think of anyone other than the person that you're about to talk about now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't see him as the absorbing man.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, and I'm looking at a list, and not necessarily that you have to be black, right? But the only thing that I think he could play that would kind of suck is if they're doing like, are the Serpent Society still in this?
They are, but I think it's through a really super diminished amount.
Okay, because that's the only thing I can think of that because I remember there was supposed to be speculation that they were going to be in it. That Seth Rollins was going to be a member of it.
Yeah.
Maybe he could be Gamecock, a minor enemy of Captain America, who is a black man dressed in a chicken suit. I shit you not.
Gamecock.
His name is Gamecock.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. that's who I want him to play. This fucking thespian actor to play the character of Gamecock.
Shit. This is fucking hysterical. Wow. No, who do you think he's going to be?
I just saw something that I thought was really fucking interesting. Yeah, look, wow, that really kind of fucks it up for me. I just read something. All right, I'll get back to that. That's super fucking interesting. Here's what I would hope is, if this is Captain America 4, this is Sam Wilson's fucking coming out party, right? If you remember in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier D Plus show, there is a moment where the terrorists are all at the end. Remember all the mass terrorists, and somebody throws like a grenade that looks a lot like a pumpkin bomb, right? Like it looks like an early working of it. It even makes the same noise, which is interesting. I think it would be really fucking interesting if he's playing Norman Osborn, right? Like a version of him that is much more like this guy is sowing the seeds of like some bullshit in the background, right? And he actually gets involved a little bit in that because they never explained that. They were like, all right, well, why is that there? Like, yeah, why is it there? Like, this is fucking strange. So is it that he could be playing Norman Osborn, a guy who maybe gets a little bit more physical than we would imagine before kind of going insane, right? There is rumor that his character is aligned with Wilson Fisk, that Wilson Fisk will become the mayor of New York, and that this character is aligned with him. That would make sense, right? I think if you just total speculation, if he is playing Norman Osborn, one, that is a great fucking pickup. Two, you can let that guy breathe across a number of movies. Have that guy show up, be influential, like doing his thing, all that. He eventually, he's got Osborn Tower and all this other shit, or excuse me, Oscorp Tower and all this. Then slowly but surely, you watch that guy like go crazy, right? Like you don't do it in the first movie. You give little hints here and there, right? Just like a little after credits moment, a little moment where he's yelling at somebody and you're like, whoa, that guy's a little fucking unhinged, and he kind of straightens up. Then, you put him in a couple Spider-Man movies, but again, he is just kind of a background guy, increasingly more involved. Then eventually he dons a suit, he goes full crazy, tries to kill Peter Parker. Peter can't take this guy on. Like he's too much, right? Like this guy's been sowing the seeds of like all this shit. He's just too much for Peter. At the same time, you have Miles being trained up. He has to team up with Miles to take on Goblin. At that point, he takes on the two of them team up, takes on Goblin. They defeat him, however you want to end that story, right? He just goes to prison or something. At that point, at the same time, Peter and MJ are together. They're older now. They get married. They have a kid. He goes, Miles, I think you're ready. I'm retiring. That pulls Holland out of the role without killing a major fucking character in comic books, right? And allowing Sony to reboot it and make it into shit. More on that later. You retire that character. And then retire him for a couple of movies, and then you get a new actor, slightly older, you can bring Peter back. That's what I want to say.
I'm curious how with the terms of, because the Spider-Man process, Sony's never giving Spider-Man up.
No,
ever.
Of course not.
So I'm always curious as to how this couple is going to divvy up time with their special child, right? Like, because you don't see Peter Parker Spider-Man in any Spider-Man movies. And I'm sure that has to do with some sort of legal thing where they agreed to only put Peter Parker Spider-Man in Marvel movies for a while. Mm-hmm. But only Peter Parker.
Right.
Which is why you get all of his classic villains are getting solo projects for some dumb fuck reason.
Right.
But I just don't. I wish I knew the ins and outs of what that is, right? Because Norman Osborn is an incredibly popular and significant figure in Spider-Man lore, right? Like, why haven't Sony made a bastardized version of that for their films, right? Like, I don't want to get my Norman Osborn hopes up. You know what I mean?
I get it.
I don't want to get my Norman Osborn hopes up, but it's the only thing that I can see that makes sense, given his age, given his previous roles, given what I know he's capable of in transforming himself into an unhinged psychopath. Yeah, man. And look, that Norman Osborn role, that's one of those like, Patrick Stewart, Hugh Jackman type deals where it's like, this is the guy, and you're going to have a hard time trying to replace him. If anyone can do it, I think it's this guy. I think it's Giancarlo Esposito, man.
Now, and keep just a side note, and sorry to interrupt you. Keep in mind, the one thing that was very much made a point is that there was they didn't know of any copy inside the 616 universe or the fucking regular MC universe of Norman, right? When they were doing here's Peter Parker from this universe and all this other stuff in Far From Home, or not Far From Home. What was the third? What was the last one?
No Way Home.
No Way Home. They were like, oh, well, this guy exists here, and it's they were talking about these characters exist in both universes.
Yeah, what the fuck are the Avengers, right? Yeah.
Right. Norman was not there. Like that. There's a point to that, right? And my guess is the reason they did that is because they wanted to be able to hide him in a way. My guess is he doesn't go by Norman Osborn like publicly until he's like, if it's this theory that like actually he was a terrorist type of fucking guy, he's hiding himself on purpose, and that's why they can't find him. That's why they don't know who he is. So,
I mean, it could be something more simple than that, right? It could be that you just don't like this guy's a kid, right? Like he doesn't know who. Like I know Norman Osborn's a big deal, but he's a kid, right? He's not necessarily paying attention to the NASDAQ. Right. So maybe there is a Norman Osborn in this universe that Tom Holland exists in. He just doesn't know him because he's a kid, and kids don't pay attention to kids don't know who businessmen are.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And he wouldn't have met his son either. Right. Like he wouldn't have met Harry yet. So
he wouldn't have met Harry. He'll probably meet him in like college or whatever. Right.
Yeah. In the next movie is my guess.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I have another theory. And you know what? I kind of like it. It's a different take on a character that you definitely have wanted to see. And it could be really fun. What if he's Blue Marvel? What if he is actually this highly intelligent guy who is been watching all of this shit, right? Like, 'cause you could do the past version, or you could just say he gets his powers now. Because there is a line here I thought was interesting. The Blue Marvel was considered to be an alpha level threat by Captain America, Sam Wilson, very specifically, and Tony Stark. What if this guy actually is, he gets his powers, he's seen as like, dude, you're a fucking threat, this is a real fucking problem, and he's like, I'm not a threat, and it's like that like weird misread, that happens in stories, and they end up kind of coming to blows, but then this guy actually becomes a hero. He's the right age. Like, it could work. Like, I could see it where he eventually becomes a hero and he's Blue Marvel or whatever. I could see it. That would be interesting. It could be interesting. Though I have to tell you, the Norman Osborn thing would let him cut loose in a way that I think Giancarlo is excellent at. Like, I think it would be fun. And I think he likes being a villain, actually. I think he
does too. I think he's at that age now where he's like, I've done all these roles are going to be for me. I'm going to have fun. I'm getting up there. I like acting. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to cut loose, right? Because villains are fun, right? Wrestlers love playing heels because heels are fun.
Yeah.
And he's only 66. Yeah, man.
I mean, that's perfect for Norman. That's a perfect age for Norman.
It's a perfect age for Norman to have a kid in college, right? for this very successful businessman to have a kid in college, because he probably had kids a little later because he's off doing business stuff, right? That's what business people do, business stuff.
Right.
And
he found a woman and, he had sex with her and he broomed her fast. I mean,
yeah, he did what he wanted with her and broomed her fast. Is that Spider-Man cartoon on Disney Plus still happening? Because
it
is. Because that Norman is black, and this isn't like some this isn't some ambiguous everybody.
Shit?
Yeah, everybody thought Lex Luthor was black because he was bald and big lips and had a tan. Like, he wasn't black. He wasn't black. No, there's Norman.
He was black and Tony Stark was Latin. Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, look. I remember doing the same shit with Larkin. You remember Larkin, right? I remember doing the same shit with Larkin, and we would fan cast movies back in the day. It's like, if they ever did an Iron Man movie, who would we pick? And we were saying names like Antonio Banderas, right? Because he's Latin, he's got a mullet. He looks like Eddie Guerrero with a tan, bro. Come on,
Eddie Guerrero should have absolutely played Iron Man.
Absolutely,
we were robbed. Okay, we were robbed. Absolutely. By the way, a thing about Norman and age wise, Giancarlo is 66. Robert Downey Jr. is 59. I feel like a good aspect of Norman is that, especially with this version of Spider-Man, is that he's the anti-Iron Man, right? Like, it is important for us to be like, he'll be like, yeah, Peter, okay, come on in. And he's just like, I fucking hate this kid, right? Like that is important, that kid looked up to this like father figure, and then he's gonna need to look to another father figure, and he's gonna need to get stabbed in the back by one. Norman is the perfect choice for that.
Yeah, man. You're really smart,
look, punch in your face.
I mean, look, Norman Osborn is considered Spider-Man's arch nemesis, right? He's his Joker, right?
Yep.
And that would make sense. Look, I just want Giancarlo Esposito to finally give Norman Osborn the S-curl waves that he so richly deserves.
Absolutely.
Who else? We cannot have a live action Norman Osborn and not have waves in that man's hair.
No, but for real though, we deserve this. Like, we've waited long enough. And look, I love Willem Dafoe's Norman.
Absolutely.
It was excellent. It's fucking unhinged. It was perfect.
It might be he's the guy, right? Yeah. Like, it's going to be very difficult for other people to jump into that role, but I think he can do it. I'm on CBR, and they are saying 10 characters Giancarlo Esposito could be playing in the MCU. 1, Professor X. It's not doing that.
He already said.
2,
that's not going to be it.
Right. 2, 10, Professor X. 9, Magneto.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
8, Norman Osborn. 7, Bolivar Trask.
That seems like a waste.
They're probably going to stay away from X-Men characters, guys.
No, they're in
6, the
universe.
Beyonder. Yeah, the Beyonder. No, they're going to save the Beyonder for that third Spider-Verse movie.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Yeah, Beyond the Spider-Verse. Zurus, he's an Eternals villain.
No.
Or Eternals character? No.
What a waste.
Molecule Man. I mean, I could see it especially if you're doing Secret Wars, right? I could see it. Yes. The Living Tribunal, no. I don't see it. Replace Jonathan Majors as Kang. I'm not feeling it. And look, I get it, right? I get it. He's not playing Doctor Doom, guys. He's not.
No, look, don't get me wrong. That voice would be dope. Like, it would be. Like, it would work. But no, I don't see that.
I don't see it. And I get it. He was born in Italy, right? Over there, right? So he's got the foreign thing going to he's not playing Doctor Doom, guys. He's not. If I can be patient on Doctor Doom, you can be patient.
That it?
All
That's
right.
the whole list. All right.
Yeah,
So there you go. That's pretty good speculation. Look, I'm hoping for Norman. I really am. I really am. All right. Next up.
Yeah. Chris Hemsworth in talks to star in Paramount's Transformers / G.I. Joe crossover movie. Is he going to play Tyler Rake?
Yeah, just call him Duke then. That's fine. That's fine. That's totally. Look, just reboot all the G.I. Joe shit. All of that shit stunk. This dude is a genuine superstar at this point. This guy has got fucking charisma coming out of his you know what, right? Make him Duke. He's a blonde, handsome white guy. Make him Duke. Be done with this. That's it. That's it. There he is.
There he is.
And Chris Hemsworth is a lot better looking than that guy. Yeah, no, just make him Duke. This is easy. This is fucking the easiest. This is the easiest answer of all time. You make him any other character, I'm gonna be fucking mad because it's dumb. I just make him Duke. Make him Duke and get pick 5, maybe 6 other G.I. Joes that everybody knows. You need Snake Eyes, of course. You need Snake Eyes, Lady J, Scarlet.
You need Duke.
Roadblock.
You need Scarlet. You need Duke, Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes and Scarlet are a pair, so they come together. Duke, Scarlet, Snake Eyes. Roadblock. You need a black guy.
Yep. Lady J. You need, in my opinion.
Lady J. Yeah, you can get Lady J, and everyone else. Everyone else is like an offshoot of one of those 5, right? Like Roadblock, Gung Ho, like
yeah, they're kind of the same.
All those guys, they're all the same, right? Duke, Flint, they're the same, right?
Shipwreck. You could throw Shipwreck in there. I'm not mad at that.
But like. It's like having Aquaman on the team, right? Like, unless you're like in a body of water, where is your parrot gonna talk to me? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, like, but that's the core of that team. Everybody just a bunch of like rando soldiers, right? Like, but look, every movie you throw in an extra 2 of them, you throw in an extra 3 of them. That's it. Just here's Shipwreck. We're on a boat scene. Like, that's it. Like, you don't need to make this shit complicated. It's super easy. All right, villains. You need like 5 to 6 major villains. Cobra Commander, Destro, obviously. Zartan.
You get Destro, you have to have Baroness, right? Like they're a team.
Okay, right. So Destro, Baroness, Cobra Commander.
Well,
Storm
here's
Shadow.
The thing. Like
you have to have
Storm Shadow, right? You gotta have 3 of each like faction, right? Like you need at least 3 Cobras. You need at least 3. What's Zartan's group? I can't remember their name.
Oh fuck. The Dreadnoughts.
Yes, you need at least 3 Dreadnoughts. You got Destro, who is like neutral evil, right? Yes. Like he's an arms dealer, so technically he'll play both sides, but like. He's banging Baroness, right? Like he's a bad guy.
Yeah, he's not a good guy at all.
Right. So, yeah, but I think you need a few from each group. And look, man,
Tomax and Zaymot.
Jesus Christ!
G.I. Joe is so fucking dumb. I love it, but it's so goddamn stupid. Like, oh, we both feel each other's pain. Man, shut up. Get out of here. But yeah, I think you're right. You need Storm Shadow, Cobra Commander, Destro, Baroness. I think you need Zartan. That's 5. And again, you can start a 5-on-5. That's all you need. 5-on-5, 6-on-6, something like that. That's all you need for the first movie. And then just a bunch of rando soldiers. Because at the same time, you have Transformers in this fucking movie, right? Like, so you introduce a couple of G.I. Joes, you got a couple of Transformers, you got a couple of Cobra characters, and you got a couple of Decepticons. That's it. That's enough. That's enough. Frankly, I'm a bit mad this is happening, though I think it should happen, because I think you need a proper G.I. Joe movie first. Like, I do think you need that. But whatever.
I think this is a perfect way to actually introduce G.I. Joes into the mainstream consciousness again. If you now, you might have to sacrifice the number of Joes in this movie, but
That's fine.
if you have Duke, Snake Eyes, and Scarlet, like if you have those three characters, I think you can get away with, because if you think about it, this will be a Transformers movie first, and the Transformers movies,
because
they have humans, right? They have humans, but there's not like a ton of them, right? There's generally like, there's your main character, and then there's like 2, maybe 3 side characters for like the B story stuff, right? Like if you think about those Michael Bay Transformers movies, you had Sam Witwicky and you had Tyrese and white guy, right? Like
military they were white dude, military black dude.
Military white guy. I can't remember his name, but you had the 2 military salt and pepper team, right? Like those were the 3 characters, and then you had Megan Fox, right? Those were the 4 characters, right?
That's enough.
That revolt, and that's it. You get, so in this case, you get Duke, Scarlet, Storm Shadow, and Lady J. Those would be the 4 characters. You know what I mean? And then this will be a Transformers movie with those characters. And if those characters test well, which if Chris Hemsworth is playing Duke, people will love it, right?
Yeah.
Then
easy, dude.
That's when you spin it out.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. That's a good idea. Can you guys just make a movie that doesn't suck? That'd be great. Like,
I mean, at first, man, that Beast Wars was actually pretty fun.
No. I'm talking about a G.I. Joe movie. Like,
yeah, that would be great. That'd be wonderful.
One, that first G.I. Joe movie was a piece of shit. The second one, somehow, it was better. I mean, they nailed that Cobra Commander design. Jesus Christ. Just copy that. Just do that. That was perfect. But everything else, no. I don't need Bruce Willis. Obviously, he's not going to be in it. I don't need The Rock. I don't need any of those actors. Just get rid of, just clean slate, all new characters playing these roles. Don't slow walk Destro and, he's going to get the helmet. No. Starting out. I want Destro fucking giant metal head. Like, hey, what happened to that guy? Who the fuck cares? Let's just get to it. Like, that guy's a creep and a weirdo. Let's just go. Like, just do it.
Yeah, you would think that, like, this wouldn't be difficult, right? Like, it's G.I. Joe. Like, it's an army movie, right? Like, there are tons of war movies, right? There are tons of movies about, like serious and not so serious, right?
That
like,
is correct.
That range from good to like passable to awful, but like this shouldn't be that difficult.
It shouldn't be.
I mean, Jesus Christ, you're getting a Masters of the fucking Universe movie again. Yeah, where's my G.I. Joe movie? Get out of here. Get out of here.
Seems obvious. Oh, boy.
Get out of here. What is this? Welcome to Derry. Is that how they spell Derry?
Deary.
Deary? That's what it's pronounced?
I'm pretty
in
sure
those movies?
I think it's Deary, yeah.
Well, I'm saying dairy, like milk. Welcome to Milktown. Bill Skarsgård to reprise Pennywise role in It prequel on Max. It will be a better use of his time than what he was doing in Boy Kills World.
I heard it was good.
Yeah, it's coming back, and Bill Skarsgård is going to reprise his role as It because there are no new ideas, just new people to watch the same stuff.
That is correct.
The Warner Brothers television produced series, Skarsgård is reuniting with other key auspices from the It franchise The two movies directors, Andy Muschietti and Barbara Muschietti, and It Chapter 2 co-producer Jason Fox, who developed together the TV adaptations of the Stephen King horror classic, as well as the film's other producers, Roy Lee and Dan Lin. Andy Muschietti, you may remember that name from another movie that came out not too long ago.
I do.
Remember that movie?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it was called The Flash.
Yeah,
it was called The Flash. But look, he directed.
Hey, you might want to remember that name because he's doing the Batman movie too. That's unfortunate.
I mean, he did those It movies, and people seem to love them.
I just heard I heard the second one's overly long. I watched the first one. It was good, and that was enough for me. I was like, got it. I get the premise. I'm a fucking giant pussy. No thanks.
All right. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, look, I'm not mad at this. I'm not going to watch it again. I did not watch the second one, but I know Terrence did. He enjoyed it, but he did say the second one was overly long. I think it's like 3 hours or some crazy shit like that.
I mean, isn't that book long?
Yeah, but that book is super fucking long. I mean, it's a fucking Stephen King book. No thanks. Okay, cool. Look, I'm glad everybody's coming back. That's dope. I think that's great. I did see. I didn't have a chance to add it to the docket, but I will just quickly tell you this news because it matters to you. National Treasure 3 is happening with all the principal actors returning. That is the talk.
All right. What are they going to steal? That's what I'm curious.
I don't know, but apparently Sean Bean's villain character is coming back, or was he in one, or he's going to be the villain?
He was in the first one.
Yeah, he's coming back.
Okay. I mean, look, I enjoy those movies. They, it's. Do you remember The Mummy?
Yeah, of
with
course.
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah,
it's kind of like one of those movies.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
One of those movies, and it's fine. You know what I mean? It's not offensive, right? It's just an adventure movie.
Yeah, people seem to really enjoy those movies. As like kind of fun, silly movies.
They're fun, and it's about America, so like people's interest will generally be a little more peaked, right? Because we're all like self-centered. Yes. But yeah, good. More Nicolas Cage. I'm fine with that. There are no new ideas, just new people to watch old shit.
There you go. I mean, yeah, kind of. All right. Next up, a little bit of a clarification on the status of Mr. and Mrs. Smith season 2. We talked, I think, maybe 2 weeks ago about how there were reports from like Variety and stuff like that saying that the two principal actors, Donald Glover and Maya Erskine, were not coming back. And, the speculation was that it was going to be like an anthology series. Well, the executive producer, her name is Francesca Sloan. She said that, quote, "I was just talking to Donald last night about this, and we were laughing because one of the pieces of the press said, according to our sources." And we're like, who are these sources? We wrote a cliffhanger. We thought about it long and hard. It was one of the first things that we wrote. Why in the world, we haven't said anything, but why in the world would we ruin a cliffhanger based on a headline? So they are coming back.
No, that does not mean they're coming back.
Hold.
That does not mean they're coming back.
Hold. Yeah, I disagree. We didn't even get to start writing season 2 yet. Maya and Donald may be dead. They may not be dead. While she declined to give any specific update on casting, Sloan promises fans that, quote, "there will be an answer to what happened at the end of season 1 and season 2. I don't think it's going to be an anthology series.
Okay, that does not mean that they are coming back. So you take this as definite. Well, they're absolutely coming back. Those two are, and we're getting another 10 episodes of these two.
Yes.
Why do you think that?
Because I think she's trying to be coy about it. And I think she's not being that clever about it. I don't think she's being that clever.
Yeah, I think she's trying to be coy because they're probably caught. No. Someone leaked it. Again, this is an industry where people pretend to be other people. They lie all the time.
Yeah, I think she's a bad
liar. I'm not saying, yeah, I think she is too. That's why she can't just come out and, why in the world? We haven't said anything, but why in the world would we ruin a cliffhanger based on a headline? that's what that's coming.
Was that the exact move she did?
Yes, she was hot under the collar, and that's why we haven't said anything.
Literally steam coming out. No, I read this as yeah, that was really stupid and silly, and I don't know where you're getting your sources. But we'll see. I pray that I am correct.
Everyone says. I mean, look, I want to see them back too, but at the same time, like, are they? Look, the trick with this show is it talks about certain marriage dynamics, with certain marriage dynamics in each show, and then with like spy shit on the side, right?
Right.
I think it would be incredibly interesting to get a brand new couple. Maybe like a same-sex couple, right? And
in talk America?
and talk about the different types of dynamics within that type of marriage with spy shit on the side. Now, look, I'm not saying I don't want these two back. I think they have tremendous chemistry. I really enjoyed the show. I am more than fine with more of the same. But I'm also not opposed to an anthology either.
Yeah, that's fair. I just want to point out that Micah, for some stupid reason, is also the same guy who thought that Chris Hemsworth, just because he was shot in the neck and fell into a pool, it was drowning, that he wasn't going to somehow make it back in the second Extraction movie. And, I'm just saying.
Well, you know what? You got me. What
an idiot. What an idiot.
Yeah, that's right. Mr. and Mrs. Smith and Extraction on the same level.
When it comes to handling taking a bullet, yes.
when it comes to jumping over this paint that we painted out of this corner that we painted ourselves into,
absolutely.
They're just not dead. They're just not dead.
What was it? Hey, he's breathing. All right, let's keep moving the movie forward. What the fuck? That explanation was wild. It was super crazy. Shit. Who knows? I'm rooting for them to come back though. All right, next up, I thought this was kind of cool. Charlie Hunnam to star in Ed Brubaker's Criminal for Amazon. Look, I think Charlie Hunnam is a pretty fun actor to watch. I don't think he's like the best in the world, but I think when given a very good script, I think he's kind of interesting to watch. So yeah, Amazon picked up the series. Shocking news. In January, after nearly a year in development, Criminal is described as an interlocking universe of crime stories based on the Eisner Award-winning graphic novel series created by Ed Brubaker. Hunnam will play Leo, a.k.a. Coward, a brilliant master thief who sees all the angles and specializes in plans with no guns and no violence. Like a chess player, Leo thinks 3 moves ahead. Other crooks think he's a coward, especially compared to his father, Tommy, who went to jail for murdering the most feared man in the city, Teague Lawless. Okay, that sounds good. I read some of Criminal. I didn't read the entire series, but I did enjoy what I read. I don't know, Jesus Christ, a decade ago. So okay, I think he's a perfectly good leading man. So, and look, Amazon is on a fucking tear with their series, especially adaptations. So, makes sense.
Who did he play in Rebel Moon? Was he Han Duo?
I think so. Dude,
okay.
I don't know any of those characters' names. I don't know the main character's name. Scargiver? I don't know. I don't know.
I think it's Cora. I think it's Cora.
The fact that you don't know says a lot. Like,
I don't know.
I didn't give a fuck about anybody in that movie. None. Next up, Sony Pictures to use AI to produce movies and shows in more efficient ways. So they say. Okay. Sony Pictures is embracing generative artificial intelligence to cut costs. Chief executive at an investors conference in Japan said on Thursday that the company is, quote, very focused on AI and mobilizing to adopt the technology into the movie-making process to streamline production. Quote, we'll be looking at ways to use AI to produce films for theaters and television in more efficient ways, using AI primarily. While this is going on, there are ongoing negotiations between Hollywood's major crew unions and top studios trying to develop a new contract while they're saying this. And AI is a big negotiating point on this. You already make really bad movies, so you're going to make really bad movies where the people have fucked up hands? Is that what I'm reading here?
I mean, so it all depends on what AI is used for, right? Like, I don't necessarily think it should be used, right? But like, I would imagine that they would use it for things like, I wouldn't want them to use it for any like artistic reasons, right? Like, even if it's something like, well, we got to generate a background for this character to be in, right? Like, just build the background, like build a set, right? Employ a bunch of people and build a set. But yeah, like that's what I think more efficient means, right? Like if they don't have like the volume, but they have, like you can use Photoshop to put this picture of not Spider-Man in any location you want, right? And for some reason they chose to put him standing in front of a Calvin Klein underwear ad.
Because money. Because money.
Look, I don't know. I'm just curious as to what this would be used for. Like to produce films, like they're not saying what they're doing. And that is why I'm sketchy about it. Because you're not saying what you're doing. Like I use AI in my photography, right? To remove like flight stands and stuff. You know what I mean?
Wow.
But I don't use it to like, hey, put this person here. Or I don't know, man. I don't know. It just is like, and even if I did, like, I can't go on location to put a toy somewhere to take a picture of it, right?
Right.
Like,
I'm not mad if you're using it.
I'm not mad at. Look, I'm not
like that. You can't literally do that's okay.
Right. But like, if you have the means, right? It just seems, I don't know, man. It just seems like a cheat. It's just, these people are not doing it out of necessity. They're doing it because they're cheap.
Yeah, you're just doing it out of cheapness. That's absolutely right.
Yeah,
right.
Man.
Like if you're using generative AI, like when you do your shots of your little fucking action figures, you can hear the derision in my voice. Nice. Congratulations, you got the German nightclub Magneto. Great.
Yeah, I got the hot Magneto.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not wearing underwear. We know Magneto.
One of Demetrius's cosplay friends cosplayed as Magneto, but he cosplayed as Magneto when he was chained up. All right, that's wild. Yeah, that's a wild image. I don't need that. Like, yeah, I'm playing Magneto. No, sir, that's your own sex dungeon. Don't do that. Like, don't do that. Like, you ain't buying them chains for that photo shoot. That's your own. Like, knock it off.
No, it's for cosplay reasons. I'm all right.
Oh shit!
Do you have a do you have a sex dungeon at the bottom of your apartment building like that terrible Tyler Perry? Shut up.
I told her, I said, "What's up with your boy, yo? He damn near went, I thought he wasn't gonna be my friend anymore. He was fucking pissed. Like, nigga, don't do that. Don't do that. Fuck out of here."
That's fucking hilarious. Like, no, it's from the show. Like, yo, come on. Did you even see the show? Like, no. So I didn't.
Like, he pulled the Mariah Carey. I don't know her.
Like, huh? Never seen him in a day in my life. Yeah, like, look, I think if you're talking about using this, if you're talking about using this to do, I don't want them doing this, like, because I know Sony is not a company at this point that gives a shit about art. They just do not give a fuck about art. Even if you're saying, oh, well, the Spider-Man movies aren't art, I do think they're still considered art. They're just throwing shit together just so they can keep licensing. So I cannot imagine what they do with sort of generative AI in this realm. I think what they're going to end up doing is they're going to be subject to this strike where the other companies are not. And then they're going to be in a world of fucking trouble because they're going to be making subpar shit. Like, generative AI is good for small things. It ain't there yet for the big shit. It's just simply not there yet. I saw this one picture. People were like, it was like a picture on Instagram or something. People were like, oh man, it was like some woman. It was like, oh man, she's so hot. And I was like, one, this is obviously AI, right? You can just tell. But someone was like, look at her hands. Like, her hand was like a claw where the thumb, she only had like a thumb and an index finger, and it was like half the size up against her body. It was like, yeah, just pay attention. Like, just look for 2 seconds. It's like, it's clear. It's not there yet. Now, maybe they have access to AI that we don't have access to. That's possible too.
Maybe, but people get mad at regular computer generated imagery, right? In movies, right? Because it quote unquote looks fake. AI is not there yet, like you said. Do you think it's not going to be noticeable?
Yeah.
Like, it just, I don't know, man. Build a set. Build a miniature. You want to blow something up? Build a miniature and blow it up.
Yeah.
You know
that
what I mean?
is a lost art, by the way. That's a lost.
Yeah.
That's an absolutely lost art.
Yeah, man. Like, you look at those movies. They've been doing movies forever. You look at like Star Wars, right? Look at Episode 4, right? Like, they did the trench run and all that shit. Like, all that shit was done in miniatures, man.
Aliens too, or just Aliens.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Aliens was done in miniatures.
Like, so it could be done. I get it. You know, time is money. And if you're going to cut corners, you're going to cut corners. But I just wish that sometimes corporations, gave a shit about the art that they're producing. But that's the thing. Like, and I hear that like Mad Max, even this new Mad Max movie, that first Mad Max, they did as much practical stuff as they could.
Yep.
Well, this new one, they didn't. Not as much as they could. And it's very noticeable. And it takes you out of it ever so slightly. Yeah. There's something about being on location and look, I'm not throwing stones, man. Like, one of the best movie experiences I had was watching Endgame with a crowd, right? And you look at all the behind the scenes stuff.
All
and it's literally just a bunch of people dressed up like they're going to a fucking Halloween party, standing on foam rocks. But they made it work. And so, look, I'm not saying it's not needed. I'm just saying, I don't know, there's something to it. I know everybody hated Eternals, but the movie looked good because they were in real locations. Yeah. Real wind was blowing real hair. You know what I mean? There's something about it. Maybe that's people's issue with superhero movies and big blockbuster filmmaking, right? Like, there is no verisimilitude.
Fancy word.
I don't know.
People don't know what that word means.
No, you don't know what that word means.
No.
No realness, no tactile.
I know it
feeling.
has like weight to it. I know what the word means. You fucking dickhead. So I just Googled it. I didn't. It's not. I read it on Wikipedia. Now I know all about the comics. This last story is really interesting. This actually touches on. I'm glad I saw this right before we recorded because we actually talked about this off air. Summer movies aren't dead. Why experts aren't panicking yet about the season's weak box office. Furiosa, The Fall Guy, and If. I just saw If today. It was a fucking turd. So bad. All did below expectations, worse than May blockbusters typically do at the box office. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, did $25.5 million opening weekend. Ryan Gosling's Fall Guy did $27.7 million. John Krasinski's family fantasy If followed with $33.7 million. The Garfield movie did $24 million. So yeah, things are not looking great. Here's the thing. They're talking about, oh, well, what are the reasons? I did a Control F to see if I could find the word VOD, home release, 45. None of that is mentioned in this article. That is the issue. The home release time is too fucking short. It's too short. People do not feel obligated to go to the theater because the shit is ending up on digital or easily stolen. So I hear it's too fast. Movies are hitting a home release in 45 days. That's too quick. It's too quick. And Michael, you made a point, and I'll let you say this, about sort of the cycle that the studios are going in with this release.
Yeah, it's just that they don't get a huge opening weekend. And look, huge opening weekends people make a big deal about the opening weekend because that is the time where the most people are probably going to watch a movie, right? It's very, very rare that a second week outperforms the first week, right? So that's why the big push is to get as many people in during that first week as possible. And if you don't get a good opening weekend, studios panic and they're like, well, crap, we gotta recoup this money. Let's hurry up and release it on VOD for $20, right? To $20 to rent, right? This is what happened to The Fall Guy, right? The Fall Guy came out. The Fall Guy is available for rent for like $20. The Fall Guy. When did The Fall Guy come out? It had to have been like less than a month.
It's less than a month ago. Yeah.
Yeah, and the problem with that is, okay, you're panicking. You release this thing on VOD.
May 3rd.
May 3rd. Within the month.
Yeah.
4 weeks ago, as of this recording. So, and you panic, and so you release it on video on demand to try and recoup some money, right? The problem is when you do that, one person buys it, and then puts it up on the internet for everybody to see, and like piracy is real. It's real. Now, look, if you give people the option to buy something or rent something or steal it, they'll probably rent it or buy it because stealing it is not an easy thing for the common person, for the lay person to do.
Right.
But there's a lot of tech savvy people out there who know how to get this stuff.
Yeah.
And once it's out there.
Now you don't need to be tech savvy. If you've got like a, what is it? The Amazon thing.
Like Fire Sticks and Plex and shit like that.
Yeah, but like the Fire Stick, dude, that's not hard to set up. Like it's super easy to set up. So
right. So and so once you do that, it's a downward spiral, right? It's a spiral into failure because you're so panicked that you didn't get this first opening weekend. You hurry up and release it in 4 weeks. But that is technically less than 4 weeks. Technically less than 4 weeks.
Look, I can tell you exactly when it was. It released May 3rd. It was on digital release on the 21st.
That's crazy, man.
That's insane, dude. That's insane. For a major movie with Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling.
That's less than 20 days.
Ryan Gosling was in an Oscar award-winning film recently and was kind of like the show stealer. Like, that's insane. Emily Blunt is a major name. Ryan Gosling is a major name.
That's wild, man. That's why. But look, and this is that's what's going to kill the movie business. And as a person who really enjoys going to the theater, like you need that theater. You need people going to the theaters in order to get people to want to make movies to put in the theater. Otherwise, you're going to get a bunch of atlases, right? You're going to get a bunch of
Sony's nonsense where they're just
6 undergrounds. You're going to get a bunch of red notices. Like you're going to get a bunch of crappy, like vanity Netflix projects because they're cheap, they're easy, heart of stone. You're going to get a bunch of those, right? And I don't want that, man. I don't want that. So look, you gotta you gotta make better movies, right? 2, you gotta do a better job with your marketing. You can't give away the whole fucking movie in the trailers, right? And I know it's very difficult for like new ideas to spark, but you got to kind of balance new ideas between new ideas and an existing IP, right? Like, and I'm talking all this shit. I know I can't do it, right? But you got to take a chance. You got to take a chance. Because I don't want to see the theater experience die, man. I love it. I think it's great. Now, look, I'm not going to lie and say I don't watch movies at home. Of course I do, but I don't know, man. There's just something about it. I don't want movies to die, and I don't want them to be, Netflix vanity projects.
Yeah, I agree. Look, as we discussed off air, the release for home stuff needs to be 90 days. Minimum of 90 days. 45 is too short. Look, I understand they made that decision during COVID, right? Because they were trying to look, we can't get people to go to the theater. We got to get this shit to them. That's fine. Make that temporary. This decision is destroying your business.
It can't be $10 a month for unlimited movies, guys.
Right. Like, it doesn't work. It's exactly the same logic. Why would if I miss let's say it's a movie that I'm like, I want to see that, but I'm not like, I'm dying to see it, right? But it's a movie, I want to see that. I missed the first weekend. I'll go see it the second weekend. I missed the second weekend. But if I just wait 2 more weekends, it's damn near out on digital. It's damn near out on digital.
If you miss the second weekend, if you wait a week and open the internet, you'll see a news story, The Fall Guy available on digital next week.
So then you just wait.
I'll just wait.
and look, that's putting the movie at the $19, $15 rental price, which is pretty high, right? But then you just wait 2 more weeks and then it's $5. So, for a lot of people, they can definitely wait because there's so much content on TV. There's so much just digital content, period. There's plenty of movies that are just released on Netflix or just released on Apple TV or just released on Max or whatever. There's plenty of things to watch. Nobody is like, there's nothing to watch. There's a ton of shit to watch. So you don't have to feel so preoccupied with finding content. Right. And now you're making the release window to home so much shorter. It's too short. Look, we were excited about it when they announced. We're like, hell yeah, that's awesome. But no, I'm going back on that, right? New information. This is a terrible idea for the movie industry. Furiosa isn't doing these numbers because it's a bad movie. is doing these numbers because people don't feel the need. Why do I need to rush? It'll be on digital soon. But if they had to wait 90 days or 120 days, people would be like, oh shit, I got to go see that because I'm not going to be able to see it for fucking 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, right? This is a bad idea. This is a bad idea. And I hope that run the rest of the year, chalk it up to a loss, and be like, listen, we got to slide this date. This is fucking bullshit. You guys own your own fucking streaming services. That's who you were fighting to get the shit to. Now, push the shit out. You don't even have to wait.
See,
Just push it out.
but that's the thing, right? Like, they're also like, that's another reason why we have this short. They have this short, shortened home video schedule, right? They all have their own streaming services that are failing.
Yeah.
Like they need people to buy those streaming services. So they're okay, fine. Here it is. But just hurry up and push it on there.
And you're absolutely right, because that's why they're teaming up with other companies. That's why they're doing that, right? So they can get it down to $10 a month, and that'll fix everything. Just get the numbers lower. Now, I do want to say there are some bad movies. If Imaginary Friends is a really bad movie, guys. It's terrible. But, Micah, do you know who's in that movie?
Deadpool?
Yes, Ryan Reynolds is in there. Let me read you the cast. And I'm only reading major names. That's it. Don't look this up. I'm just going to read you the names.
I'm not.
John Krasinski, Ryan Reynolds, Emily Blunt, Steve Carell, Awkwafina, Blake Lively, Matt Damon, Lou Gossett Jr., Fiona Shaw, Brad Pitt, Vince Vaughn, Sam Rockwell, Christopher Maloney, Bradley Cooper, Sebastian Maniscalco, who's a comedian, Jon Stewart, Amy Schumer, Bobby Moynihan, George Clooney, Maya Rudolph, Matthew Rhys, Richard Jenkins, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Bill Hader, Keegan-Michael Key, and that is it for the big names. All of those people in it, and it's a fucking turd. It is a turd. I've never seen Ryan Reynolds look the least interested in a movie by far. He's just like, I can't wait to just go do Deadpool. This is really dumb. He is so uninterested in this movie. It's amazing. So yeah.
Now look, Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be the big movie of the summer, right?
Absolutely.
It absolutely is. It's going to make. It's going to have everyone saying MCU is back or whatever, right? It's going to make
caveat for people who don't want to admit it. Oh, it's because Deadpool's in it. Like, all right.
It's gonna be the big movie, and that movie is not going to hit digital, right?
It shouldn't
on in 45 days, or is it?
No, I don't think so.
I would hope not.
No, look, Disney held a movie that did not great. They held Wish, which was their like latest animated movie. They held that shit for a long fucking time. And I know because my daughter was like, when is it coming on fucking Disney Plus? It was months on end. I don't think they're going to throw that one to Disney Plus quickly because one, it's going to make a shit ton of money. But like Disney seems to be the only ones who will hold their movies out, even if it's not in theaters. They seem to hold their movies longer on average, but they shouldn't. Like, dude, keep that shit out of that fucking Disney Plus for a while, for a minute. Make people excited when it comes. Look how fast Marvel's got there. They were like, this ain't do good. Just get it on there. Just get it on there. But no, I would think that they would. I would think they would hold out a little bit for that. I hope so.
When's that coming out? July. Yeah, it's perfect time too. When does Deadpool and Wolverine come out?
July 26th.
20. Oh, I thought it was sooner than that. Okay, fine, whatever. Yeah, man. I don't know. I really like movies. I don't. It just is so weird to see like these people who quote unquote know what they're doing. And look, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking out of my ass. I'm a guy in his fucking living room, record a podcast. I don't know shit about movie making, but I do have common sense, right? Like
more or less.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just you gotta move that date. Like you gotta move that date. You're dying under your own weight.
Are we being anti-consumer? Are we being corporate shills?
Probably.
I mean,
no, but here's the thing. This is better for the consumer too. If these movies start making so little money, and like it's weird, people are like, yeah, they're like celebrating this. You're 100% right, though. You're going to keep getting these vanity shit projects because they're cheap to make. That's what you will get. So, no, it is in your best interest, actually, to make sure that these movies do well. Good movies do well. Very good movies do well. But I'm sorry, I do not buy the idea that nobody is interested in Furiosa. I think it has everything to do with the fact it's like, dude, just wait. This is not a COVID issue. Like, people aren't like, oh, I don't want to go to the theater because I'm going to get sick. That's not the issue. Deadpool and Wolverine is on track to make like over $100 million opening. Now that's because that's a fucking huge IP, right? But it's because people are excited about it. So it's not that people don't want to go to the theater, but you have to have a combination of, you got to keep that date pushed out a bit to give these movies a chance to fucking breathe, and you got to make quality shit. So, or hit the right IP. So we'll see.
Yeah, we shall see.
What the Fuck brought to you by JTD from the Edit That Out podcast. Take it away.
In what can only be described as an unconventional love story, a man fell in love and ended up marrying his mother-in-law with his father-in-law's blessing.
Okay.
This bizarre tale begins with a tragedy. After the death of this guy's wife, the father of two moved in with his in-laws in this village. Over time, the relationship between the 45-year-old man and his mother-in-law, 55, evolved into a romantic affair that could only be concealed for so long. As rumors of their secret affair started spreading throughout the village, the woman's husband became increasingly suspicious, and one day caught the two lovebirds in a romantic embrace that confirmed his fears. Furious, the man brought the affair to the attention of the village council, demanding that the matter be resolved.
Africa.
Upon not so fast before you start casting, before you start throwing stones. These are your people.
Oh, I believe that. This is India?
Yes, this is India.
That makes sense.
Upon hearing the account, the village council summoned the son-in-law to hear his version of the story. To everyone's surprise, the man openly admitted to the affair with his late wife's mother, claiming that he had fallen in love with her. After Gita, the mother-in-law, acknowledged her love for Sijander, the widowed man, the council agreed to formalize their relationship by getting them married. Even the husband, Dileshwar, had a change of heart after seeing them confess their affection for each other and helped organize their wedding. The viral video that has been making the rounds on Twitter for a couple of weeks, Dileshwar, the husband, tells the reporters that he was happy to organize the son and the mother-in-law's wedding. Another clip shows the son adorning his new bride's forehead with a sindoor, not once but 4 times, to the cheers of the local crowd. Nah.
This is simping on a level I cannot abide. I'm good.
This sounds like a. This sounds. Is this what romantic comedies in India are about?
With more dancing. No,
Nah,
that's
yo.
no. You wildin'. You wildin'. You wildin'.
This is weird, yo. This is weird. I don't care where you're from. This is odd, man. This is like
No,
nah.
I feel like you're allowed to fight this dude. Like you're allowed to fight him, right? Like you should be able to.
Of course. He ain't no blood to you. He ain't no blood to you. He was your daughter's fucked up husband. Get out of here.
Yeah,
Get out of here. Can you imagine? Can you imagine your daughter's husband falling in love with your wife?
Yeah, I can imagine him to snap his fucking neck. That's what I can imagine. What the fuck? Get out of here. And I'm gonna help him with the wedding. What kind of simp shit is this? No.
Yeah, you're gonna help your daughter divorce her husband so that he can marry your wife.
This dude wanted out of that marriage. He was like, "Yeah, nah, it's great, bro. You got the best. You got the best one. Yeah, I'm real broken up about it. I'm gonna help y'all. Nah, yo, this dude planned it all along. He's the mastermind. Like this guy's the mastermind. The husband's the mastermind. No, this is crazy. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. No, absolutely not. No, and look, I'm gonna beat your ass for good measure, yo. Like, no, I'm gonna fuck you up for good measure. Get out of here. My story is weird. People lick supermarket. God damn it. People lick supermarket eggs in hopes of getting food infections and receiving compensation.
Florida? Is that what they're doing in a Publix now? I used to like Publix, but like, come on now, is this what y'all doing down there?
I mean, that's kind of how they roll. It is not Florida. In my opinion, it's a place not that different than Florida. After the owner of a supermarket chain announced that he would be paying a lot of money to each person proven to have gotten food poisoning from the store's products, many decided to take him up on that by starting to lick eggs. Earlier this month, a supermarket chain came under fire for allegedly selling compromised food products that had landed at least 18 people in the hospital for food poisoning. As a result, several suppliers refused to work with them anymore for fear of getting audited. Yeah. So okay. Where do you think this is? Who's licking eggs?
I think it's probably the worst place in the world. So Russia.
That is
not
correct.
Russia. Oh, all right then.
Oh shit, that is absolutely correct. Yeah, don't go to the. I'm gonna brutalize this word. Jesus. Yekaterinburg-based supermarket chain, Zhizhenmart. This is the worst place on earth. So yeah, he was going to pay people 1 million rubles, or $11,000, if they could prove that they got sick at his grocery store. Quote: if we were found guilty in any of the 18 cases currently being investigated by Rozpat Nadzor. Wow, yeah, that is a name. That's an internet name somebody used by smashing a bunch of keys. I want to do good and compensate the people genuinely affected by the problems that we created. But the road to hell is paved with good intentions, is what that guy said. Zachenko said. So, yeah. You licking eggs to get $11,000?
No, I'm not licking eggs. I'm not licking eggs.
It's $11,000. It's $11,000.
I'm not licking eggs. I'm not licking eggs. Is it the same batch of eggs? Like, is it just like, here, there's a carton, and are we? I don't want to lick someone's sloppy seconds. You know what I mean?
No. You get a fresh carton, but you got.
I get a fresh carton of eggs.
Yeah, I'm magnanimous. You get a fresh carton of eggs.
Okay, do I lick the eggs and get the money, or I got to lick the eggs and get sick to get the money?
You got to get sick. You gotta be willing to piss out of your ass for a week to get $11,000.
Like, can I make myself vomit? Like, if I lick the eggs,
you gotta get genuine food poisoning from licking some strange eggs.
No, I'm not licking eggs for no guaranteed money. I'm not above licking eggs. I'm not above licking eggs for money. Okay, but I gotta get some sort of compensation for licking eggs.
You get $5 for licking a carton of eggs.
I'm not a whore, yo. I'm not a whore. Okay,
fine. We'll reduce the price down to $2. That's less than a carton of eggs.
That's bad business. That's bad business. That's the promotional offer. Like, that's not.
You get $2 for licking eggs for the first 2 months. Then it goes up to $5, right? Like that just makes sense. Nah, yo. Like, I'm not licking eggs. That's. I don't like. It's not just botulism, which I've gotten food poisoning before. Botulism is pretty bad, but you could get salmonella poisoning, which is like. That's where salmonella comes from. It's on the outside of the eggs. No, I'm not doing that. I couldn't be bothered to do that. No thanks. But $11,000 is $11,000. What is your price to lick eggs? What is your price? Everybody has a price. Come on, whore, take the money.
What? All right, no, we got to set some ground rules. Okay, licking eggs. Licking eggs is way too vague of a term. Okay, licking eggs is like, it's got to be like.
All right, tell me your specificity, and I'll tell you if it's allowed in this the real licking eggs challenge. You get fresh eggs. You get fresh eggs. I'll give you that.
You get it's got to be what was that show? It's got to be like Grace and Frankie. Okay, you remember that show?
Yeah, of course.
Where those two dudes where Martin Sheen and the guy from Law and Order had to be a gay couple.
Yeah,
had to pretend to be, and they had to like hold hands and like act like they were in love.
Yeah, they couldn't do it. Yeah, they couldn't.
Right, they couldn't do it. That's what it's got to be, right? That's my licking an egg.
No, when I in this scenario for whatever the price is, you have to put the egg fully in your mouth.
No, I can't, yo. I can't. And a raw egg, and look, it's Russian.
It's a raw egg. It's not boiled, so you got to be careful too.
Nah, yo, no, I can't. There's no number. There's no number. If it's a boiled egg, fine. Look, the number's high. The number's ridiculously high.
$500,000 for a random carton of Russian eggs. Putin's eggs. This is a weird. That's a weird term.
No, if they were like Eggland's best, and I had to do one.
No, Siberia's best. Siberia.
Yo, they don't have chickens over there. Yo, they don't have livestock.
Chickens.
They don't have livestock over there. Yo. They don't.
It doesn't seem like it.
They have bear and salmon. That's it. Bear and salmon. That's it. That's all they have over there.
Hey, you see any cows around here? No, those are probably snake eggs. No, you got to put the whole egg in your mouth, move it around, then take the egg out.
No, get out of here. No, I'm not juggling. I'm not juggling eggs in my mouth. Like, get out of here.
Come on,
get out of here.
$500,000. $500,000. Tongue kissing a bunch of random Russian eggs.
$500,000, one American egg. One American egg.
What? No. Whole dozen.
I'm not
30 pack. No, 30 pack. 30 pack.
30. Nah, yo. No. Look, I am making love to one egg, or I'm doing a speed run. I'm doing a DJ Khaled on those other eggs. If you want me to do right, like just real quick.
He don't even do that. Husband don't go down on your wife. You fucking loser. Nah, like, okay, I'll let you do the speed run for the 500,000, but it's got to be a pack of 30, and it can't be American eggs. They got to be in Russia.
No, I'm not eating Russian eggs, yo. I'm not putting Russian anything near me, man. I'm not. No,
You're like Charlie Hunnam. You're a cat.
not for $500,000. Not for I am. I'm not for $500,000. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna fucking debase myself, yo. I'm not gonna do that shit, right? Because look, you saw The Gentleman. You remember that first episode where the dude was like,
I've actually not seen that show, which is really ridiculous. I haven't seen it.
That is really ridiculous. Somebody does something that requires restitution, and that person needs to apologize. And the guy doesn't want to apologize, but he finally says, okay, I will apologize. And then the guy he has to apologize to says, no, you got to sing the apology. And he's like, no, I don't want to do it. Please do it. It'll get us out of this jam. Okay, fine. I'll sing the apology. You got to sing the apology in a chicken suit. Yo, no, come on, yo. Come on. Like, I'm not doing this. And he's like, please, please, please do it. It's like, fine, I'll sing the apology in a chicken suit. And then the guy comes and says, oh, by the way, we're filming it. I don't want that bullshit to happen to me. I am not going to debase myself for cash. I have a little bit of pride, just a little bit, that I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to lick Russian eggs. Get out of here.
What you've heard today, ladies and gentlemen, is the world's greatest liar. Like, again, Micah is on record saying that he will tell people what they want to hear and not the honest to God truth. I don't believe you.
I'm very disingenuous.
Yeah,
I'm very
exactly.
disingenuous.
Fuck out of here.
I would do it with American eggs. I would do it with American eggs. Something about Russian eggs, man. I can't.
I've never seen a Russian egg. I don't believe they exist.
I don't think they do. I don't think they do. I'm going to Google Russian egg and see what happens.
You can get a picture of a white dude's balls is what you're going to get. Keep safe search on. That's all I recommend. Get out of here.
I Googled Russian egg and Fabergé egg came up first.
Yeah. Then you got to eat a whole Fabergé egg. You got to eat one.
They don't have real eggs, guys. The Fabergé egg came up before a regular Russian egg.
I mean,
nah, yo, nah.
I feel like a regular Russian egg is just, it's full of other smaller eggs inside of it. It's just a nesting doll of an egg.
A nesting doll.
Yeah, that's how they roll over there. They're weird. All right, let's talk about trailers this week. Trailer for Beetlejuice. Everyone's old and is better than this, and we shouldn't do this movie. There, I said it. I don't think it looks bad. It has all the beats of the original. This feels embarrassing to me, and I don't like it.
I like Michael Keaton.
I love Michael Keaton.
I think he's one of those actors that's like, he's one of those few actors that is like in between like a megastar and a character actor. Like he can do both, right?
Absolutely.
And I am very curious to see what this Beetlejuice would be, but not curious enough to go out in the theater to see it, especially if it's coming out in 45 days after it comes out. Just in time. It comes out September 6th, 45 days just in time for Halloween. I'll watch it then.
Yeah. No, I'm not seeing this in theaters. I'm not. I refuse. I literally refuse to see this in theaters. It doesn't look bad. It has the same goofiness and wackadoo CGI and all that. Everyone looks like they're probably having fun. There's something very sad about this movie to me. It is. Like, you guys are better than this. Like, again, it doesn't look bad. But you don't need to do this. You don't need to do it. I'm glad Jenny Ortega's in it. She's like the new it girl for like dark shit. She totally works as the daughter of Lydia. But again, I don't need this. If you tell me this movie is great, I would 100% believe you. If you tell me this movie is just a rehash of all the jokes from the first one and it doesn't really cover any new ground, I 100% believe you.
I remember liking the first Beetlejuice, but I don't have an absolute like. It didn't turn me into a goth. You know what I mean?
No. Why?
So I'll watch it. Don't know if I would run to the theater to see it. I'd have to do it with my wife, and she doesn't strike me as a Beetlejuice person. So, all
right, well, there you go.
If this movie is good, I will watch it when it comes out on home video or whatever it's called, video on demand.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm good. I'm super good. Look, let me tell you something. These next two trailers, easiest watch of all time. First one, Moana 2. Easy. You ever seen Moana? Your kids ever seen that?
No.
Great fucking movie. Great movie. Everyone's great in it. The Rock is great in it. By far his best role, actually. I'm actually really looking forward to the live action version of the first one. This looks awesome. It's got really great animation. It's fun. It's a really cool display of sort of like Pacific Islander, sort of culture and history, so to speak. The first one is beautiful. Like it really is. And this looks very similar. So apparently Bob Iger is like jazz as fuck because kids love Moana. Between this and Frozen 3 and 4, they about to make $1 billion fucking off of that shit. So yeah, this is easiest choice of all time. My daughter's like, there's Moana 2? And she was like, can I see the trailer? And I showed it to her. She was like, yeah, I want to see that. And this is fun.
All right.
This is a fun series. Or it will be. Easiest ticket I've ever seen sold from a trailer. I think it's actually an Apple TV kind of movie. So,
it's going to be in theaters first. It's going to be in theaters September 20th.
All right, I might actually have to go to the theater for this one. Wolves, as a person who doesn't know that the plural for wolf is wolves, is starring George Clooney and Brad Pitt, where they play sort of competing, or they're both like cleaners, right? Like when a hit happens and they're both hired, but then they're forced to work together even though they're both loners. Look, Brad Pitt and George Clooney, that's all you had to say. Those guys have chemistry like together that is just insane. So, oh, look, it's Ocean's 11 again. Great. This is fun. It's got that same feel. Yeah. I don't know who's directing it. Oh, that's right. John Watts is directing it.
John Watts is directing it.
The Spider-Man movies. So, yeah. All right. Great.
Yeah, this movie is this is a great trailer. This is a great trailer, and I can't wait to see this. This is a movie that I will go to the theater to see because I want to see this on the big screen. I want to see this with a like-minded crowd. You know what I mean? Well, maybe not a crowd because like fuck people, but I want to see this in the theater, and it looks fun. It looks funny. Like you said, it's Ocean's 11. If Ocean's 11 starred Mr. Wolf from Pulp Fiction,
right? Yeah, I just this seems like such an easy choice. Are you going to see this movie? Yeah, I'm going to fucking see the shit out of this movie. Are you kidding me? Like, and I like that both of them seem to be having a good time. That I appreciate too. So, all right, yeah, Wolves, that works for me. And yes, I get the title. I understand why it's not called Wolves because they're both loners. Like, even though I've seen people write Wolves, the Wolves trailer, I'm like, we're all too smart for the title. Like we're just like we refuse to call it wolves because that title is funny. All right, so there you go. Any other thoughts before we get out of here?
No. Yeah, no.
All right. Well, there you go. All right, we will see you guys next week for another episode.
See ya.